This is my first tutorial, and today I'd like to teach you the fishtail. There are many tutorials out there, but in mine, I'm going to try to cover all the different methods for learning the fishtail. There are actually 3 different ways that are good to learn this move. Some people it comes naturally, others have a hard time with it. So we're going to talk about a few things. The first thing we'll talk about is the center line. The fishtail is based upon balance. You're balancing everything on this center mark. You're controlling it with your pinky and your thumb. Pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb. Now, that's besides the point. It'll all come a little naturally once you figure out the figure 8. The fishtail is actually a horizontal figure 8. So it'll go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, how I learned to do a fishtail was from a hand roll. A hand roll is basically when you start below your center line, you roll the staff over, and you end up above your center line. In that motion, your center line is going to strike the center of your wrist. That is when you would start the fishtail motion. So what I'll do is do a hand roll, lift up and to the left, down, up and to the right, down, up and to the left, down, up and to the right, down, up and to the left, down, up and to the right, down. Keeping this very smooth. So then that's your control. You can do a little one and a big one, a little one and a big one. You can do the figure 8 in many different shapes to control where that fishtail is going to go. You can exit from the same hand roll you entered. So it's hand roll, figure 8. That creates the fishtail motion. When I say figure 8, remember that I mean it is a horizontal 8, meaning it is drawn in the air in a horizontal fashion, more like an infinity sign. The second way to learn a fishtail is by trapping it between your 2 hands. Place the staff on its center line, place another hand on top. Now start to perform your figure 8 or your fishtail. And that's the fishtail motion. Since it's trapped between my 2 hands, I have control over it. Eventually, you can remove this hand and you're still doing the fishtail. If it gets a little out of control, you can place this hand back and control the staff. Eventually, it'll become natural feeling. You always want to practice on both hands and make sure you get it on both sides. So that was the second way to learn the fishtail. The third way is by spacing your hands from the center line so it's balancing on your 2 hands. Now you start the fishtail motion and slowly move your hands in towards the center until you're fishtailing on 2 hands. Once you get there, you can try removing one hand and you'll be in a fishtail. If it gets out of control, you can put that hand back, and that helps. Now, some advice that I've never seen in a fishtail tutorial is control. When I first started learning my fishtails, this end of the staff would always want to hit me in the shoulder or the head. So what I did is start watching for that end and pushing it down, pushing it down. Then you can control it away from your body. You can actually hold on to this end of the staff and do your fishtail maneuver, and you'll see that this end of the staff is doing a circle on your left, that end of your staff is doing a circle on your right. So it's basically just doing 1 beat on each side, and you're rotating. So remember, you can push it down to keep it from hitting you. Now, fishtails are important because there's a lot of moves you can do from them. You can fishtail propeller. You can fishtail propeller angel roll. You can use your fishtails to get into your chest plane. You can use your fishtails to get into body traps. You can bring them up, use them to rotate around. They can be starts and stops. So it's a very versatile move. And you can be creative with them. That's what's fun about the fishtail. So just remember, from the hand roll, you roll back, up and to the left, up and to the right, up and to the left, up and to the right. From a wrist trap, you place it on the center, trap it, do your motion. From a spread hand position, you can do the same motion and slowly move to the center. By trying those 3 motions, you should be able to get a fishtail to work. And then you can join the club. They're very fun. And they do translate from one prop to another. On a dragon staff, they're a little different because they need to be rolling. So then when you're fishtailing, you're keeping this rolling motion, which can be a little more difficult. And I still have to teach them along occasionally because I lose speed. But basically, the dragon staff is rolling up your hand, down your hand, up your hand, down your hand, as it's doing the motion. I'll cover dragon staff fishtails more in a later tutorial. Well, thanks guys. Hopefully I was able to teach you something. And next time we'll cover halos and Jesuses.